Since the beginning of SwitchForce, you guys and girls have been asking for a podcast, and we've done sort of podcasty type stuff with Comment Force and our inevitably long videos, but this is a true podcast. It's something we've wanted to bring to you guys for a long time, and we're kind of in a SwitchForce renaissance era where we're bringing better quality of the videos, more on camera stuff, some cooler different transitions and effects, and so a podcast fits naturally. So hopefully you guys are excited for the very first episode of Switched On, which is going to be our new long-form podcast where we talk about the Switch games we've been playing, interesting Switch topics, and of course like other things as well. We want this to be a chance for you guys to get to know us better, hang out, have fun together. Now, as you can see, Gabe is not here, and that's a little weird. He was supposed to be here. Unfortunately, he had some family stuff he had to take care of. It's taking a little longer than he expected, so hopefully he'll be back next week. But this is a 4-chair show, so these aren't just like replacements. These are the actual guys. So if you guys enjoy the show, definitely let us know in the comments down below. Hit that like button. I'm going to cover some of the questions I know you'll have right away, but first let's get to intros. From the grand state of New York, we have Joseph, who is a Pokemon master. This dude pulls Gen 5ers out of his pocket like it's Gen 8. He just knows them right away, and that's why I love you.
Thank you. I actually got called out on one of the facts about Dormanitan.
Dang it.
Apparently he's mono fire. So I was close. But
so this is why I have you on, and it's not even accurate.
Listen, yeah, first week we're going strong. I was already proven slightly wrong, but you know what? I'm gonna still hold on to that belt. I think I could defend it for the next one. Don't even stress it. I'll get back.
Zach, I know a few more guys just in case we need to fill it.
Man, all right, I see how this is going.
No, and if you're like, where did these guys come from? Did we just find them? No, like these are good friends that have contributed to some SwitchForce stuff in the past, both behind the scenes and in front of the scenes a little bit. So they're huge Nintendo fans. You guys are gonna love them. And our second chair is Trip,
which could be filled by anybody. Should be filled by Gabe.
Stop that.
Yeah, I've worked with Zach a few times. I mean, it's super fun. I love SwitchForce. I love all you guys out there. Like he said, Joseph is a big Pokemon fan. Me and Joseph are like kind of Pokemon homies. That's like our thing. And yeah, I'm just a big fan of the channel. I'm a big fan of games. I like to direct and write and produce and do anything on the video side. So it's kind of cool to be on the camera side of it once in a while. So this is fun. This is cool. I mean, really, it's a podcast. So you know, he might just like later on replace me with just like a green mat or something, and you'll just hear a voice. I don't know what you're gonna do with this, but
well, that's one of the first questions I did want to address. Is like people are gonna ask, will it be on iTunes? And it will be. It's a work in progress. The first episode, we're gonna mess around with the way it like looks and the video, and we'll get it on iTunes. So don't worry, that's happening. The second question would be like, will it continue beyond a week? Yes, no matter what, we'll be back for episode 2. Don't worry. Number 3 is probably like, what's the format? And our format is we do want to focus on Switch stuff. Obviously, it's SwitchForce, so we are going to talk about the games we've been playing, but it's not going to just rehash the videos you've seen. It's going to be a lot more behind the scenes, a lot more of our takes on games we're playing off camera, and then some fun stuff as well, because there's a whole world out there beyond Switch carts and Joy-Con, and it's a pretty fun place. Well, some of the time.
Sometimes
there are some fun things out there, but I want to kind of give you guys a rundown. We're talking about the Switch stuff we play. We got a lot of Fire Emblem, Forager, Wolfenstein, Mua 3, and then we've got some interesting new YouTubers we've found. We've got some Netflix shows. We've got Galarian Pokemon, of course, and we've got viewer questions. So we'll be taking those every week. That's probably another question of yours, and we're going to field those on Twitter. So appreciate it if the comments were just like, if you guys like the podcast, any like responses or comebacks you have to things we talk about, and we'll take the questions every week. I'll post a tweet like, here's the question tweet, and you guys can ask those questions there. But before we get going, I have to tell you guys my allergic reaction story.
Yes, please. I've been waiting.
This is so weird. I was at a Borderlands 3 event, not on Switch. See, I told you it's not gonna all be Switch. We're starting off with not on Switch, but it was Borderlands 3, so I had to go. And I've been having like some calf pain, and I don't know why, because I don't really do a whole lot. I coach, but it's pretty passive, and so it'd been hurting, and I got to California, San Francisco for the event, and it was like really hurting. So I put on some of that, like, it wasn't icy hot, but like one of those kind of like icy hot type things where it starts cold and then it like heats up, just for like muscle relief. And I go to bed at like 2:30 in the morning. I have this dream that my leg is on fire, and I wake up and my leg is legit on fire, like literally burning, as if like It's not funny. It was
I don't
scary.
know.
It's funny to us.
Honestly, it's kind of when you said literally on fire, I visually saw your leg on fire.
Yeah.
And that was
It was one of the weirdest sensations because it felt like it was like burnt, like a terrible sunburn. So my like paranoia mind instantly went to like, I have some sort of like nerve cancer or something because I couldn't figure out why my leg had been hurting so much. What's going on? Now it's on fire, and I'm standing there like, is it gonna start climbing my body? Like it's in my calf, but is it gonna start rising? Like my thighs on fire, my torso's on fire. Like what's gonna happen? So I got in the shower. Worst decision ever. And I now know that when you have like that like icy hot type stuff, if you put any extra heat on it, like what actually activated this was the covers of the bed. So being in like a warm, cozy space is what did it. So the shower made it burn 50 times worse. Like,
jeez,
so hot. So I looked up like, what the heck do I do? And luckily, there's a lot of people that have had this reaction. So I learned that white vinegar and sour cream are the go-to cure-all for leg on fire.
That sounds absolutely. See, when you started, I thought the calf pain was going to be something with your allergic reaction. I didn't think.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I still haven't figured out.
Layered.
Still haven't figured out the calf pain. I don't know what's going on.
So that was just pain on pain.
Yeah. I lucked out that there was a 24-hour grocery store because the hotel did not carry sour cream, unfortunately. And I went there, and it's like 3 a.m. at this point, and I'm like feeling like a complete weirdo buying white vinegar, sour cream, and a bag of organic carrots. That was my checkout. Also, there was this super sad old man. He bought a carton of milk, a bag of goldfish, and a magazine. The dude had to be like 80, and he was just chilling in the grocery store. I was like, I should hang out with this guy, but I got to go put the sour cream on. So,
dude, that's so cute. He's
he was living his best life.
Living his best life. He's gonna go home. He's gonna dip the goldfish. He's gonna read the paper.
No, but he was sitting there, like he was eating it there. Like he,
dude,
that's
yeah.
different.
I mean, he was just
I
chilling.
thought you said he was buying that. I just thought that was a cute thing that he was buying.
No, he already bought it, and then like was just sitting in like the little cafe area, and I was like, "Do you want some company?" But I gotta go. So I rushed back to the hotel, and I'm sitting in the bath, pouring white vinegar and rubbing sour cream on my calf. Surprisingly enough, it went away in like 30 seconds. Like all gone, all good. So I think the vinegar probably like disintegrates the, like the icy hot stuff. But it was like the weirdest freak out ever. And it does relate to Switch because I played a little Switch to like calm down after that whole
That's how it
full circle, man.
Okay,
Yeah, you did it. You did it.
Also, if you ever put on that icy hot stuff, do not get in a warm bed and do not take a hot shower because it was terrible.
Yeah, that sounds horrific.
My big question is, did you go back afterwards, and is the man still there eating the goldfish?
Fortunately, I had to go to the Borderlands event and fly home. I didn't have a whole lot of time, but he may be. Maybe it's one of those situations where like he's just there always and no one understands, but he like lives in it's 24 hours. He just lives there.
Maybe he's an angel. Maybe he's an angel. Maybe it's like one of those shows. He was there and waiting. He was just waiting to see what happened. Maybe like subconsciously he was telling you how to fix your problem.
Yeah.
He
was like checking in on me, like guardian angel guy.
Yeah.
He led me to the
in
website
case
to
it
find
escalated.
it. Right.
Yeah. In case it escalated, he would have been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The goldfish and the milk were just a distraction. Yeah.
When I got to 2K, they're like, "How was your flight in?" I was like, It was fire. It was a fire flight. I loved it. Everything was great. And they're like, "Sounds good." And I'm like, "Yeah, you don't even know the half of it." But the other half of this podcast is Switch stuff, so we can move on. I guess
Zach is okay.
I'm okay.
He's okay. It seems.
It seems for now. My calf still does really hurt. I don't know why. It's so weird. I don't run. I don't do anything, and it's bad. So we may revisit this next week. I'm not sure.
Yeah, should definitely get that checked.
I wanna visit. Did you guys pre-order Switch Lites?
Yes.
You did.
I did.
No.
I didn't either. Don't worry. It's
not.
okay. I didn't either.
So I wasn't
Joseph,
going
you
to.
did.
I wasn't going to.
You did. Nice.
Yeah, I did. I wasn't going to, but man, I want the yellow Switch Lite so bad, and I really don't know why. I've never had like a super loud console color. I've usually had the regular default ones. I have the white PS4, so that's as crazy as I really got. I mean, my Switch is the Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu Switch, so I guess that's
pretty crazy.
It has yellow on it, yeah.
Well, and you
but
got
like
little
even
designs
most
on
of the time, Yeah, but even most of the time I'm using different Joy-Con. Yeah, the designs on the back are a little extra too, but it's in docked, so like I don't see it often. And if I'm playing it in handheld, I'm not really seeing the back, so I forget that that's there. But yeah, something about that yellow, man. It's just it just got me. I was like, you know what? And then I pre-order it, and of course the Pokemon Sword and Shield one gets announced like minutes later. And so I'm just sitting here. Well, I guess it wasn't really minutes later because the pre-order went up after, but I didn't see the Pokemon one because I don't even think they announced it in the same video, right? Like it just got announced completely separately. Like I remember watching the Switch Lite video, and they did the whole presentation about what's the difference.
You didn't know it existed?
I knew the Switch Lite existed.
Okay, but not
the Pokemon Sword and Shield. No, not at all. I had no idea.
Huh.
So that was kind of like, it was dormant for a bit. I was just sitting, and then Switch Lite pre-orders become available. I'm like, awesome. I'm going to get that yellow. Get the yellow one. Basically tell my friends like, hey, got this. Turns out there's a Sword and Shield one. And it's gorgeous. In my opinion, I think it's the best looking one.
It is. Yeah.
And so I'm pretty upset about that. I could still cancel it. But for some reason, I'm almost positive that it's sold out. Like,
See, here's my thing with this. Like, I didn't pre-order because I wanted it at midnight, and I'm Amazon deliver. Like, I'm gonna chance them being sold out because I want to have it. Like, it's kind of just like the YouTuber thing, right? Like, you can't wait until Amazon delivers at 11 a.m. Like, gotta get it at midnight. So, I'm planning on being that guy that gets the turquoise and then probably sells it for the Zacian and Zamazenta editions, because it is like a month and a half. It is a month and a half.
Yeah.
So like, and Trip, I don't even know this. Joseph and I learned yesterday that it's a week earlier in Japan, so they get the cool one November 1st, and we get it November 8th. So
all right, so I'm flying to Japan. That's what you're saying. Yeah.
Go pick up 3 of them.
I want the Zami and Zamazenta one, and then also there's a big reason that I haven't pre-ordered, and I'm not gonna lie, it's because I'm super on the fence about getting a Switch Lite. Period.
Valid,
I'm just. I mean, like, I am going to get it because I know I have to, but I have been pretty on the fence just in terms of, like, whether it's something I need, because I am pretty darn sure, I mean, I'm all but sure that the Switch Pro is coming out, and I'm happy with my Switch now. I like the ability to switch it back and forth. I can turn handheld right away. I can put it on my screen. I don't really see this crazy excitement about getting a Switch Lite that just has, maybe some extra battery life, that I can't switch to my TV. I mean, I like the hardware. I like the colors. That's fun. The most exciting thing about it to me is actually the Zami and Zamazenta version because, I want that for my Pokemon Sword and Shield. But otherwise, like, there's not a lot drawing me to it. I do still think it's like the perfect console for if you have a sibling or something that hasn't gotten into it, or even you have friends, a girlfriend, whatever it is. Maybe your parents, they played yours, and that's like the perfect way to get them into it. Just a cheaper, better, like, handheld version. Like, I think it's fantastic for what it is. I just don't know if it's something I specifically need. And I'm having a hard time.
I don't think any of us need it. I think it's just more
for sure. I don't even think of the regular Switch anybody really needs.
It's a want.
But
yeah, it's a want.
I'm
going to get the Sword and Shield one. I know it's
you
happen,
have to.
So.
You have to, bro. It's so nice. Basically, my only point is I was excited about the Switch's announcement because I've mainly been a portable gamer, I guess. Like, I not mainly, but I really enjoy portable consoles. Like the PlayStation Vita, if it wasn't such a massive failure, I think would probably have been one of my favorite systems. And the Switch was that. It kind of picked up the pieces, but it's also huge. It's not really portable.
Is it huge?
I think it's huge in comparison to like what an actual handheld is. Like,
I think it's the perfect size, handheld size for me. I love it.
I don't have like super small hands, but I don't know. Like the Vita is like maybe half the size of the Switch. Like you can put the Vita on top of the Switch and it is just engulfed by the rest. Even the Switch Lite is still bigger than the Vita was. So like there's still some leeway on that on really like how portable it could possibly be. In my eyes, if I can't fit it in my pocket, is it really portable?
You just need bigger pockets, man.
Yeah, like if I'm wearing joggers, I could get that switch in. Sure, like I'm chilling. But if I'm like wearing like jeans, I'm not getting that.
If you're wearing jeans, you're not fitting the Switch Lite in your pocket either, though.
Yeah, I mean, no, definitely not. But it's going a little bit deeper for sure. I don't know. Like if I take the Joy-Cons out and I'm just like holstering those and putting the screen of the Switch in, we're good to go. But
actually, I think I finally see why it has less appeal to me, because I'm a punk kid, so I'm always wearing tight jeans. So it was just never an option anyway to have it be portable.
Oh, okay. So you just didn't.
It doesn't click. Yeah, it doesn't register. So for me, it's always like been a backpack or like a satchel thing that makes me sound like a hipster. I don't really walk around with a satchel, but like it's that type of thing for me. I don't really ever expect it to fit in my very skinny pocket.
Yeah, and I mean I didn't actually think it would fit in my pocket. I'm like looking at it like I'm upset at it.
It's not that big, Joseph.
It's not that big, but I don't know.
Also, it's still portable. You said it was the portable. It's still portable. It still is.
I know, but like if we take like the 3DS, it's just so much. I mean, of course, with the clamshell design.
Okay, all right.
It's more portable. More portable.
It's more portable. It's more portable. And here's the thing, like the trade-off of not having Joy-Cons totally sucks. Very upset about that. I wish it could just come off, but we can't have it all, I guess. Not yet. But as far as I'm concerned, it really does operate differently. Like the Switch is something I'm still going to probably, if I'm going on vacation, bringing my actual Switch with the dock, putting that in a bag, and I'm good to go. But if I'm going to just hang out and for some reason I'm bringing, my Switch, because like there have been so many situations where I'm sure you guys have experienced it. Something like Smash, the moment you mention like Smash Brothers and there's anyone within earshot of you who has ever played that game, they're going to take out their Switch and be like, yo, what's your friend code? You trying to play? And like it's happened so frequently, but the Switch just isn't something I carry with me, unless I have a bag.
So you want to be the guy that when they say that, oh, do you have Smash Bros, you pull out like this micro Switch and you're like, look at my tiny Switch.
I wanna whip that out and literally just wash them right there. As a matter of fact, it's funny you said that. Let me see if I have, and I don't know if you guys remember this. I'm so happy this isn't well within reach, and this is gonna make me seem crazy with the small stuff, but it's not. I'm not that crazy, I promise. I have a Game Boy Micro.
It's a good system.
Know if you guys.
Yeah, they're great.
This system's dope. It's so cool. Like, I was in, like, 5th grade when it came out, and I was like, oh, I could sneak it into class and play. Don't do that. Unless you want to.
Well, apparently you can't with the Switch. It's too big. Everyone's going to see it in the whole room.
I mean, imagine you have your setup, you're, like, putting the... Like, it's so not handheld, in my opinion. Well, no, it's super handheld. It is. I'm going to stop with that narrative, but it's like, the way I see my Switch, I literally carry my Pro Controller with it. Okay. Just because, like... if I'm going somewhere, I know I'm just I could just prop it up and then, play with the Pro Controller. I really don't use it in handheld much. That's why even like the Joy-Con drift problem, I probably have that, but I don't know because I don't use the Joy-Con.
You don't use the Joy-Con.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's use this as a transition moment because I want to ask you, you've been playing Wolfenstein Youngblood, and I want to know if you wish that you could play Wolfenstein Youngblood on this tiny, like, 2-inch screen because I don't think that would work.
I mean, the one thing that I will say is I think it'll look better because everything's so compressed.
Yeah, but you won't be able to, the bullets will be like, you won't even be able to see the Nazis. They'll just be so tiny.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't played it in portable yet, so I don't even know what it's like on the regular screen. Listen, I told you I don't see it as a portable... I use it as portable system, but at the same time I don't, because sometimes it's very jarring for me with certain games to, like... take it off the dock and then it's a huge like graphical downgrade. Mm-hmm. Obviously with first party Nintendo games, never happens. They do a pretty good job of like maintaining quality, but I'm like afraid I'm going to take Wolfenstein out of there and it's just going to look like Play-Doh.
Well, it doesn't kind of fantastic already. So
it kind of already does. Yeah. I will say that like the one thing I know people are complaining about is the cutscenes definitely kind of trash. Mm-hmm. Like you cannot, if you do that side by side with the Ep.1, I don't know why anybody would do that, but if you do that for whatever reasons, it's very noticeable. But when you're in gameplay, honestly, you really don't you don't miss it too much. There's not that much pop in that's noticeable in the CG stuff. That's terrible. Like things will just show up, but in terms of gameplay, it's pretty good.
Have you been playing it solo, or do you have a co-op partner?
I have been playing it co-op. So me and my friend, we decided to hop on, play the hardest difficulty, and it's tough, man. I think we're like a couple hours in, and we're not even past the second level. It's a little bit more open in game design, but it's a tough one for sure.
I don't know about for you, Zach, but he's so frozen. Like
now he's super frozen. Yeah, actually, up till that point, he was fantastic.
Pretty good,
yeah. Now he's frozen.
Am I still frozen? Okay. I just said something along the lines of I played on the hardest difficulty and then
did you say that? Did you say that you're liking it or not liking it?
I'm liking it. I actually don't even think I said if I'm liking it or not.
Okay.
Anyway, long story short, I think Wolfenstein is a very fun game. Maybe don't play it on the hardest difficulty on your first go. And it's definitely more fun with a buddy.
I'm glad you're liking it because I feel like the narrative around that game has been super negative. Like people were very excited for it, then they got it. There was some like microtransaction stuff. People were frustrated with the checkpoints. People not happy with some of the design decisions. It didn't feel as Wolfenstein. So I don't know. I was very excited for it, but I guess this was a case where I kind of let the public narrative kind of like steer me away. So I'm glad that you're liking it, and I do have a copy, so I probably should check it out.
And if you need a partner,
I mean,
I got you.
Yeah, I've been waiting to play with Gabe, but I'll play with you, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah. It's like whatever.
Well, at least you'll be docked to the Pro Controller, so at least you should be more accurate. Like you're good to go.
Exactly.
All right, let's talk. What I think is still the big Switch game, Fire Emblem Three Houses, and this is the part of the show where Zach and Joseph really get to show their chops, and you guys get to decide if you like them or not. Because I don't have a whole lot to say about Fire Emblem Three Houses. I've been playing other stuff, but you guys have been like deep into this.
Yeah, very deep. So
dude, I can't put it down. And Joseph, I do not understand how you've beaten the game, haven't you? Or you're near.
I'm like 2 missions away from beating it. I'm just super stuck.
Okay, I have to. Well, actually, I don't want to give any spoilers. I was about to ask like where I was in the game in
no
comparison
spoilers.
to how much more of the game is left, so I won't do that. But I know I'm like at maybe the halfway point. But I'm not even there yet, and I've already feel like I put so much time in. But I am having an absolute blast. I can't put it down, man. It's fantastic. It's everything for me personally that I enjoy about games. I've played a lot of those games where you just walk around and you talk to people, and you get quests and stuff, and that bores me to no end. I don't know what it is about this game. I actually enjoy all of this character interactions. I just enjoy the feeling I get from being their teacher. Like I don't know. I just invest myself into it. There's this one point where the students are like, we just want to let you know we love you as our teacher. We've learned so much from you. And I literally was like, they're growing, my little flowers.
Yeah, for real. Well, I 100% agree with you. I think the characters are the strong part. Funny enough.
Yeah.
And usually it's tough for me to get into these games too. I do like anime games, but like I'm 50 hours in and I don't see the ending, man. Like I really don't see it, and it's scary. But at the same time, every time I turn it on, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be here for the next 3 hours. I'm going to sit here and play. So 100% I agree with you. Now, I know we talked about it a little bit, but which house did you pick again?
I was the 99%. I went with the Black Eagles.
Okay, so you went Black Eagles.
Which I still don't understand because, like, they're red. Like, right? They're the red team. Why are they called the Black Eagles?
Thing. It bothers me so. It's like you created the lore. You created the color scheme.
I don't understand it.
These are real things. Okay, they were established
they exist
hundreds
somewhere.
of years ago. Okay.
I actually literally had a long conversation with myself yesterday. There was a bit in it was like, oh well, they're called the Black Eagles because on their emblem, the emblem is the eagle is black,
the eagle
and
itself.
the outside is red. I was like, that makes sense. But then I looked at the golden deer and the blue lions, and it's the same thing. The lions are white, and then the deer are black. So I was like, well, that doesn't work either. They're not yellow or anyway, whatever. It's great. Anyway, I went with the 99%. I was like, I'm gonna go with the with the Eagles. Mainly just because I liked Edelgard. She looked cool. I liked the characters when I was walking around talking to them. But the main reason, I knew it from the beginning I had to go with them because black and red are just my colors. So I was like, I got to do that. As soon as I did it, though, I was kind of bummed because, like, everybody chose the Black Eagles. So I'm at least proud of your individuality, Joseph. Like, well done for going a different way.
No, if it makes you feel any better, I chose, like, the second favorite, which I didn't know was the second favorite until I picked him. So I went Golden Deers, which, by the way, before someone calls me out, I do know that, like you mentioned, Trip, there is a canon reason why they have those names.
Yeah.
Just for comedy purposes, why Black Eagles? But anyway.
Oh, trust me, I know there's all kinds of reasons. To be
Yeah.
fair, this is like my first entry into the franchise, though. Whereas you have obviously played.
This is my
games.
So this is my
first entry. So
it's technically my third, but really it's my second. I played Fire Emblem Awakening back on the 3DS. Didn't really like it. Like, it wasn't my favorite thing. It was fun, but I didn't beat it, and I certainly didn't get as invested as I did with this. And then I played Fire Emblem Heroes on the phone. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that.
Oh, yeah.
I gave that a shot, and kind of the same thing, where I got into it, but it kind of dropped for me. Something about Three Houses, man. I don't know what it is.
I'm so confused because you tell me you're a portable player, but you don't like the portable Fire Emblems, and I'm guessing you've been playing this one docked.
Yeah, exclusively,
okay,
actually.
Newsflash, you're not a portable player. You don't like portable gaming.
No, because...
wait, so you played Fire Emblem docked the whole
For
like
50
the entire
freaking
time.
hours.
I think maybe one mission where, because one of my friends came over and he was playing Fire Emblem, and I'm at a point where if you look at my screen and you're not 50 hours in, I spoil everything. Like just my presence spoils. So I need to like, I'm in my corner playing Fire Emblem while he's using my TV and my dock, and that's probably the only time I did that, and that was just one mission.
Dude, this is so ironic though, because I'm definitely more of a, I like to play it on the big screen, but I've been playing Fire Emblem like exclusively portable.
So we're all liars.
I've just been sitting in bed just playing it like this. But see, again, I don't need the Switch Lite to be able to do that. It feels portable. I'm not going to get back to that.
I'm feeling targeted.
I'm so glad
Yeah,
I'm so glad that the first episode of Switch On focuses on how Joseph's a liar and we don't even know what kind of gaming styles we like. This is great.
This is better than therapy for me.
This is great.
Like, I'm learning a lot about myself. Also, through this conversation, I realized how much I like yellow, and I thought pink was always my
Golden
thing.
Deer, yellow Switch Lite.
I mean, it's uncanny. Thank you guys.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But yeah, I think Fire Emblem's fantastic. It's a lot of dialogue. It really is, and you can choose to ignore a lot of it, but for some reason, the more you sink into it, it matters so much more.
Dude,
yeah,
I
the
love it.
mission on
Honestly, it's one of my favorite games I played on the Switch, and I know that's like a big thing to say, but I just love it. There's something about it. I can't put it down. I love the battle system. I love the characters. My favorite thing is actually just the story and seeing how it unfolds, and I love being a part of this school. It legitimately is just straight up Harry Potter, but it's like a good Harry Potter game. It's a good version of Hogwarts where I get to walk around. I get to be one of the teachers instead of just a student. The interactions, everything about it. It's just really cool. I actually don't know how the heck they're gonna get me excited for the next game, because like I said, this is my waypoint into the franchise, and I know that this is not Fire Emblem. Like, this isn't a consistent thing. There's not a school, there's not like this house system. So I feel like I would miss that if the next game didn't have it, but I know that's maybe not what the core players of the series want. But for me, that's just kind of an interesting thing that the gameplay is switched up so much, but I feel like it's a core thing. It's what I would want out of the next game. So
do you guys like the gameplay? Like, do you like the battles? Or
I do.
Yeah.
okay. I was just making sure, because nobody said a thing about battles yet. And like, when I
Oh
think
no,
of Fire Emblem-
I that was one of the few things I listed as I like the battle.
Oh, you do?
system.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do like the battle system a lot.
It's honestly, it's really funny that you mentioned that, because I think what you just said is very true to a lot of people. Is a lot of people don't mention the gameplay of Fire Emblem. Like, even online, you'll always hear people talking about like, oh, I love the character designs, I love the story, I love the lore, I love the idea of Fire Emblem, all this stuff. You don't often hear about the gameplay. It's so simple but so deep. And it is a lot more simple than other Fire Emblems I've been hearing, because I know, like, even in Awakening, there's like, if you use a sword against an axe, or it might be the other way around, then you have an advantage. They took that out completely.
Yeah, they took out the triangle. Yeah.
Yeah, the triangle, exactly. And so, like, it gives everything a little bit more balance, in my opinion, because now it's like, it takes out that like extra thought process where you're like, okay, well, now my sword guy is surrounded by ads people, like, I could go to town or they could destroy me. But also it gives like some classes a chance to shine. Like in Awakening, I never used like the lances, just because I don't know, I didn't like them. But in this, like, half my class is using them, so it's like, I don't know, it's really interesting. But it's something about the gameplay where it plays kind of like chess in terms of every move holds some type of weight, and you don't exactly know the weight until like later on. And And I'm playing on the hardest difficulty, which is again a dumb decision on my part.
Look at you, Mr. Hard over there.
Literally never.
Hardcore.
I'm the person that lets go's difficult.
You're living a lie. I don't know what's going on. This gets weird.
What are you?
I'm all over the place. All right, I don't need you guys to tell me. But
we love you,
it's
man.
legitimately fun. It's legitimately fun playing on hard. And especially because if my units die, they're dead. Like my students that I care so much about, it's over. And it's something so fun about that. I don't know what that says about me, but man, it's a good time.
I'm playing on normal difficulty, but I'm still playing on the setting that my students actually die if I lose. Because I thought it was a good like level because it's normal enough that I can beat it. And again, this is my first time in the franchise. But at the same time, it really does give you this sense of like I can't finish a battle and let one of my students die. Like I just can't. I literally can't let it happen. So like every time I win and I lost somebody, I just have to go back and do it again. And I think it just adds this kind of extra level of uncertainty and excitement because you want to come out on top. And like you said, it's all about pleasing your students. Making them happy, keeping them alive. So,
dude, I feel you.
I have been. I have not been playing much Fire Emblem. I've tried. I've really tried, but I've had so many delayed flights the last couple of weeks, so like I wanted something that was just kind of mindless and going to get me through those delays. And Forager, I don't know if you guys have seen this or played this on PC or other places, but it is surprisingly so addictive. And I've had so much fun. I've played probably like 7-8 hours of it, and it's not a game that I typically would like, so it kind of has like a similar Fire Emblem thing for you, Zach. Trip, but we're breaking.
I've been called that multiple times throughout this.
I fourth wall here.
It's fun.
So it's basically like a clicker with gameplay. That's like how I would describe it, which sounds really bad. But the reason I say that is like they describe it as like Minecraft plus Zelda, and that's apt as well. But like it's really just like, okay, you go here and you harvest all this like gold ore and iron ore, and then turn it into, or I guess you harvest. I don't know, you harvest the gold and the iron, and you turn it into iron ingots and gold ingots, and then you use that to buy something else. And it's just like one of those loop games where, like, the more stuff you harvest, the more stuff you get, which opens up more things for you to get. So it really is, like, clicker mentality of, like, just boosting the numbers, right? It doesn't necessarily matter, but, like, the graphics are so pretty, and it's such a fun, vibrant world that I love just moving around. Like, I love harvesting all the stuff. I love killing the little slime guys. I love building the new stuff. You get, like, Cthulhu heads for your character. You can get, like, a Shovel Knight costume for your character. You get, like, a money, like, coin hat for your character if you have a lot of money. And the really cool part is that you start off on one plot of land, and then you buy... And if you guys don't know, like, it is a top-down 2D perspective. So it's not side-scrolling, but it's like Link to the Past. And so you start off with one little plane of land, and then you buy additional islands, and then you have to use bridges to connect them. So you're expanding your territory, and you might stumble upon like characters that give you like little side quests. You might stumble on a new kind of resource. You might stumble on a new biome. You might stumble on a dungeon. So it's really fun that the game like uncovers itself, which I assume is procedurally, and it really is just feeding this like near perfect loop of like harvest a bunch of stuff to get more stuff to then upgrade your character. There's a leveling up system, which really helps a lot. And then like now I hammer that pickaxe so fast. I literally can like run in a circle around one of the little islands and just harvest everything in like 5 seconds. But what's amazing is 7 hours ago, I'd sit there for 5 seconds harvesting one little rock. And now
that's pretty cool.
Now I just blow through, and there's like different shrines that you can pray to get even like faster speed, more XP, and again, it's just like it feeds that loop, and it's been super addictive.
So for someone who hasn't played it at all, like what's the kind of ratio to battling to just time wasting to harvesting? Because I'm not as super big into like the just straight up time wasters, like maybe a Stardew Valley or something, and I do enjoy them.
Don't make me feel like I'm wasting my time.
I'm just wondering.
Like, please.
No, that's just a title. It's not a waste of time. Okay. It's never a waste of time to play a game. I just dumped I feel like 50 hours into Fire Emblem. That's 50 hours I'll never get back. Of course, that's time wasting.
All of it could be considered time wasting, but it's not. We're having.
It's just that style of
right.
game,
I think the ratio is probably like 10% battling.
Okay.
10% like menu, like skill tree, building management, and then 80% like harvesting, looping. Like you're honestly like, now I'm at a point though where to me the more it goes, the speedier it gets, the more fun it gets. Because initially it was a little slow of like, I've got 5 wood and it takes 50 wood to build this, like gonna be here a while. But now that I literally can amass hundreds of, I got these sweet towers, guys. I got these towers that shoot lasers and just harvest the stuff for me. So it's so beautiful. Like resources are just coming in. It's actually really satisfying to see on the side of the screen, like just got a freaking amethyst or got a ruby out of the ground and didn't even know. But yeah, it mostly is just that loop. So it is that time waster.
I like stuff where you can create things that are then harvesting for you. So that immediately
Optimization is like a big part of it. Yeah,
yeah, that's cool.
And the game seems to just grow. So there's like 60 skills, I believe, and I think I have like 27 or 28 of them. So I'm guessing like level 60 is kind of the max. But like there's even little like shops where you can sell stuff. There's museums where you can pour one of every kind of resource available in the game, or a certain number of every kind of resource to like get extra rewards. So there's always something to do. And I guess it's just kind of that like mindlessness that's great for like podcast listening. It's great for like airports where you're trying to like pay attention but not pay attention. And it feels good. Like the actual gameplay of like mining the stuff feels good. The way that it's organized, it's very snappy. It's very quick. You can go in and out of the menus at any time. It's forgiving. Like you can take damage, but it's pretty hard. It's really fun. And it probably shouldn't be as fun as it is given how simplistic it is. But they've dolled up the time wasting so well that like I think you guys would like it.
All right, you sold me. You sold me. I'm gonna try it.
Okay, I'll take a little kickback.
We lost our boy.
We lost our guy.
There we go.
You're back. Hi.
There we go. That was the scariest thing.
Joseph, it's been 15 years. Where have you been?
The podcast is over.
So much has happened.
It's done. Episode 1 is over.
It's over.
Okay, so the last thing I heard was you
buy
talking
Forager,
about how
please.
simple it was.
All you got was how simple it was. Thanks, appreciate it.
No.
Go
I got
play
so
your
much
complex
more.
Fire. No, it's
No. You literally said something about how simple it is. I wasn't like.
We can move on. It's not going to win like game of the year. I just think it's a really fun indie distraction, and it's very different from like I don't know. Like I love Katana Zero. I love SteamWorld Quest. I loved Ape Out, but like it's just very different. It's not something I normally play. It's kind of like if you want a simpler Dragon Quest Builders, I guess, that's more optimization loop focused. It's cool. You can tell us about Mua 3 Trip. We can.
I've got nothing to say.
You got nothing.
Nothing. No, I mean I played it.
You were telling us that you don't like. You're a huge Marvel fan, but it's not like.
Yeah, but I don't want to make everybody who loves the game angry.
Okay,
Can I talk about that? Is that something I can talk about? I don't know.
You're playing it. You can't hate it that much.
I enjoy the game. I played the first Marvel Ultimate Alliance. It was fun, but that was ages ago. And so this is my first kind of waypoint back into it. I didn't play Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. And I am a big fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so I love how many characters they have. They have plenty to make me happy. I don't really quite enjoy how like everybody's movesets are. I was hoping for a little more diversity. I feel like it kind of just seems like they had, okay, this person is like heavy hitter. This person is like, far range. This person is somewhere in between. And I kind of feel like they just kind of copy stocked that like throughout a lot of the characters. So it doesn't feel like a ton of diversity that I'd like to see in the characters. And then some, I mean, mainly it's the art style though. I was telling you that it kind of like to me looks like a kiddie game, but it's not. I'm not saying it is, but it plays like it's a cool beat 'em up game. But there's something about it just like throws me off. I compartmentalize them. I see it as like a kiddie looking game with kind of a more complicated battle system that I can't just check out at. I actually have to really kind of invest myself, and that's something about that.
I'm going to be super curious how people like feel about this versus Avengers once that comes out, because like Avengers is the like, wow, it's gorgeous. It's so like amazing looking, but everything I've heard feedback wise is like it's super simple and bare bones. Whereas this one does have a lot of like deeper systems, all like the leveling up and the synergies and whatnot. But then it does have that look like Saturday morning cartoon or whatever. So it'll be curious to see like for you specifically, like which one you prefer. Like if you end up liking Avengers just because it looks and kind of like has that like huge AAA bombastic feel, or if you're like, you know what, I will swallow these graphics for deeper gameplay.
To be fair, when I first saw the trailer for the new Marvel game, I was excited because that is the graphical system that I just feel like I've come to expect. We see all these great visuals from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and you can't help but just expect that a bit from the games now. And so on that point, I'm excited for the Avengers game. But yeah, literally everything I've heard about it says it's a super simple battle system. It's not that fun to play. People also don't like a lot of the voice people that they got because since it does look just like the films, not really, but since it does look kind of like the films, that they're kind of surprised it didn't get closer sounding actors, etc.
More jarring.
So yeah, I've heard a lot of jarring and just disinterest from the Avengers game. So that'll be interesting. That definitely bogged me down a bit, which was actually what got me more excited for Marvel, Ultimate Alliance, and that's why I've been putting time into it. Because at first it didn't seem like a game I'd really be into, but then I saw some gameplay, and I like the cutscenes. The cutscenes are actually one of my favorite parts. I think they've done a great job with that. There's a lot of cool, fun quips. I like any time that the Guardians of the Galaxy characters come on, or they've got a good range of characters. It's a lot of fun. It just something about the battle system just doesn't quite do it for me. That's just my standpoint.
Yeah, I think the way I see it is I was the exact opposite. I was kind of hyped for it when they first announced it, and I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, this looks like a mobile game." Like straight up, nobody.
It's better than that though.
It is better.
It's
a lot
better
better than a mobile game. I think people just see something and they're like, "Oh, that's Fortnite." If it's cell shaded, which granted it could look like Fortnite skins, but for me, it kind of like I loved Marvel Ultimate Alliance as a kid, but when I was playing 3, I was like, "Wow, this is fun. This is Marvel Ultimate Alliance. It's back." But then I thought for a second and I was like, "But that was a long time ago. Like, games are very, very different now. And I'm glad to see it back. And they did change some things. They did modernize some things. But I also do wonder how well it'll do if we get a Marvel Ultimate Alliance 4. I know a lot of people actually did genuinely like the game. And again, I like it as well. I'm pretty deep in. I have been playing with friends, though. Anytime I play solo now, I get a little bit, I find it a little bit tedious. But all in all, I've enjoyed the game, but like you said, Trip, for me, it was the exact opposite, where I was very hyped for it at the beginning, and it kind of calmed down towards the end, and then I finally got it. I had this resurge of hype where it was like, yes, finally, after all these years. And then again, it just kind of plateaued until Fire Emblem came out, and then now I don't touch it, which is unfortunate. But for me, I think the graphics on the Square Enix Avengers game, they throw me off way too much because you can very much tell it's a Japanese company trying to make a Western-looking game. And I'm sorry, but some of those faces are just scary, to be quite honest. But the game itself looks beautiful. It's really when you get kind of those close-up shots where it's like, that's not Thor.
From what I've seen of Square Enix game too, the cutscenes for me at least look great. I think they look pretty fantastic. 100%. I'm cool with them, but the actual gameplay does seem to drop off a lot once it transitions into that. So that'll be kind of sad to see.
Yeah, I mean that's understandable, but
another part of the MUA, I think for me, I haven't been able to play with people. I think there was one occasion where I got a couple friends actually play with it, and I do feel like it's a game that needs to be played with people, or at least for me. I would enjoy it a lot more if I could actually get a few buddies over and play the game.
Yeah.
So far, it's just been a lot of solo play, which for me, I think that game is just, it really feels like it's meant to be like a co-op game.
This is why you play Forager. It's a nice solo experience. You can just
dude, trust me, I need to.
Which honestly, you did make me want to play Forager, which is I love progression-based games. I love seeing numbers go up. Those games always
it's satisfying.
It sounded like a joke, but you actually sold me on it. I'm definitely gonna.
This episode sponsored by Forager, not really, but we're open to sponsors. If you want to sponsor the episode, let us know. All right, well, that's kind of the Switch stuff we've been playing, and part of my fascination with Forager has been my new kind of YouTube obsession. It's a weird thing to say, but I don't watch a ton of YouTube normally. It's so time consuming to make the stuff. You don't really have time to go and watch everybody else's stuff. I try, but my brother turned me on to this Game Maker's Toolkit guy, and his stuff is so freaking impressive. I don't know. I think I know a lot about games, and I think that some people that I talk to know a lot about games. Not you, Joseph, since you got Dormanitan wrong, but his videos.
It's gonna be a constant recurring.
I'm gonna bring that to the grave, man.
His videos touch on things like why games are addictive, how, keeping players engaged, like the negative and positive feedback loops. And like, it's so fascinating to hear things from a design perspective and realize like, oh my God, like that's why I love that level. Or like, oh my God, that's why I can't put this game down. And then to see it like replicated in other games, it's remarkable. Just like learning about the balance of like, okay, a positive feedback loop is where a good player continues to get better through rewards, and a negative feedback loop would be something like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, where you're doing really well, so then you're negatively hampered to try to do worse. Like you can't get as good of items, or the blue shell will target you. And just even like how that is implemented, it's like, yeah, we're over here talking about how we love the students in Fire Emblem and how I love just smashing the stuff in Forager, but it's like, no, there's like real psychology going on behind the scenes, and real like the games that are good, like the people behind clearly are thinking about this stuff, and to have it like digested in a fun way it's so cool. Like anybody should go check his channel. He only makes a video a month because they're so time consuming, but like literally every single one, I downloaded like 40 for the plane flight to San Francisco, and like every single one was like, wow, learned something new. Wow, that was so cool. And they're edited like, I wish I could edit like that.
You can give yourself some
no
credit.
no this dude's doing stuff like, okay, he was talking about Uncharted Lost Legacy, and like Chloe Fraser opens a door and his like title is behind the door. I was like, how did you put your title behind the door? Like I don't even know how
editing it for a month.
Yeah, I don't know how that even happens.
That's really cool though. I love seeing behind the scenes stuff of that, and it's so interesting to me to know that like you said, we can just be like, oh well, I like this aspect to a game. But there really are things that just click just subconsciously that we would never think of. But behind the scenes, it's a science. Like these people like know exactly what to do, and the responses. At least the good games. Yeah, at least the good. Yeah, of course there are ones that I
think the bad games, they have no idea, so that's why they're like, whoa, this doesn't feel right. Something's like.
Yeah, you got to put them onto the channels.
Yeah, go. Well, I didn't know it was targeted towards designers. I learned that like later. That like he's actually like typically targeting like budding game designers and like indie devs and stuff.
Really?
So that's fascinating to me that it's that level. That like, I wonder if there are legit indie devs that like watch these videos and like, that's a great idea. I should think about that for my game. It's that smart, and but it's done in such a fun way. Like I realize like how much I love when you show footage of like games from the past 5-6 years. Like it's like, when we're talking obviously about Fire Emblem, we show Fire Emblem footage, but like it's so cool to see like, oh yeah, that was really a part of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Oh yeah, that was a part of BioShock 2, and to like just have that like, oh, like remember when I love that game. Like it's presented in such like a fun way. So it's it's my new YouTube crush is Game Maker's Tool. He's got this like soothing British voice too. It's like so,
oh man,
like that lo-fi no copyright music in the background. It's good.
Oh,
that's you're just saying all the right things. Yeah, I definitely feel that. Funny enough, while we're on the YouTuber subject, I'll talk about. I just found a YouTube channel, and I mentioned it to you guys, but I didn't say like really what it was. But just like you, Zach, I find myself in this weird position where like I'm on YouTube all the time because whether it's like posting or doing things like that just around YouTube, that I don't often watch YouTube.
Sure.
It is this really strange kind of feeling. So when I do find a YouTube channel that I like or that's interesting, I get addicted to it, and I'll also like binge, which is always good because it kind of gives you like those creative sparks you need a lot of the times to like get you right back into it. But I found this channel called Subjectively, I'm pretty sure is what it's called. It's like a group of 5 artists, and all the things I've seen them do is what really put me onto them is they took bad designs from Pokemon. Of course, it has to be a Pokemon thing. It's not Dormanitan, okay?
That's what I was going to ask. Shoot.
No, Dormanitan was not mentioned. At least I don't think so. I haven't watched all theirs yet.
You should watch that one so you can be learning.
I know, right? So that I can know anything about this Pokemon. I'm a hack, Zach. I don't know what to tell you. But they redesign it, and like it's really interesting because all their art styles are very different, but they come from like such an objective point. Funny enough, their channel name is Subjectively, but there's a lot of good objective points on character design that they make that are like they'll say something, they'll bring up a Pokemon like Smoochum, which is this little thing with a bob haircut and the big lips, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, there is so much just wrong with this character? And you're looking at it, and like I grew up with that character. You know, that's a Gen 2 character. Like I never doubted it, but they kind of break it apart, and you're like, wow, this is really kind of badly designed. It's not the best. And it's just really cool because they put their own like thoughts to the test. They changed the design.
That's super cool.
Like by the end of the episode, they'll have multiple different Pokemon designs just to prove to like the viewer and themselves that like their ideas do have credence. It's not just them being like, you know, because anybody could look at something like, I don't know, you know, Grubador or Trubbish, the trash Pokemon, and being like, that's garbage. Literally.
Oh.
That is just such a... But it's very different. It's very different to be like, well, how do we make it interesting? How do we fix that? And they've done it with like Overwatch. It's just really cool. And if you're interested in like game art at all, it's kind of exciting watching them redesign well-known characters. So like if that's anything that anybody would be interested in, I highly recommend it.
Wait, is this the same channel that they did the same thing with like evolutions, where they were talking about how there might not be any more evolutions, but if there are, that they would want them to look like this, and then they actually ended up making some designs for them?
I think so. I know that they have a video
because I saw that, and
Eevee.
Everything you're saying sounds similar, so that's I've probably seen it.
I've seen that they do have a video regarding Eevee. I haven't watched all their stuff yet. They also have like a bunch of new stuff for Sword and Shield. Like they design Gigantamaxes.
They better not be touching Galarian Weezing though. That's perfect design. Like don't even.
No,
that is absolutely perfect. Do not touch him.
That I don't know how any artist could put their paintbrush on that masterpiece.
The mustache and the eyebrows.
Dude, those eyebrows, they get to me. Like in my sleep, they really get to me. Like,
And
it's
the
only
top
been one
hats.
day.
And the top hats.
Yeah, the top hats. I can't, man. Such a tall
so
boy.
good.
Are there any other? Just it's kind of off topic, but it is on topic. Are there any Pokemon that you specifically want to get Britishified?
Yes. I mean, honestly,
all of them if we could.
All of them. Every single one. Every freaking one. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I do have a little dream. I have a little dream. I desperately want them to take all the characters that already have like a shtick and re-shtick them.
Okay.
So like, because Machamp, like we'll talk about Machamp. Machamp, his whole thing is he's like a big wrestler dude, and he's got this belt, and maybe in one iteration he had gloves or something. I want them to completely redo that for Galar and make him a British punk rocker. Okay, so I want to see Machamp with skinny jeans, and I want to see him with like a guitar and just like a British invasion punk Machamp.
Like four guitars for his at least two guitars.
Multi-guitars.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, one guitar for each arm. That'd be sick. Or maybe he's the full band.
Is there like
guitar,
a?
He's got a bass. He's got some drumsticks.
People don't know about this, but like I feel like there might be some subconscious like your band stuff is kind of like influencing your Pokemon picks.
No, that's not influencing at all.
Nothing
No. The fact that I'm a punk rocker has nothing to do with that. I just want to see it. I mean, obviously that plays an influence, but hey, it's all Britishified. Sure. Like they better have some like punky characters. Actually, one of the characters I saw on there kind of did have a punk vibe. So yeah, I think it could happen. I think it could be cool. What about you guys? What do you want to see? I want to see a Machamp punk rocker. That's not gonna happen, but that's what I'd like to see.
That's a tough one to follow up. I wish I went first, because when I say mine, you guys are going to be like, wow, that was
I'll do mine. I'll give you some space.
Yeah,
okay,
please.
So,
save me for last.
I really think that like Poliwrath would look great with a top hat or some sort of British like hat.
Wow.
He's just got like that vibe. But yeah. I would love to get
Politoed. If you give the top hat to Politoed, that'd be just like the old WB frog with the top hat.
Yeah, literally.
Cane, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
That'd be pretty sick. I like that.
So,
but what I really want is I want like a Galarian like Haunter or Gengar or Ghastly.
That'd be cool.
I don't know. I just like those guys a lot, and I think getting like some variation. Like at one point, the rumor was like all Gen 2 would be shifted, and I know it's fun that it's not that, but part of me kind of wanted that just so it was. I love seeing like the tried and true favorites being modified, and it seems like these ones are more. I mean, we only have very limited examples, but the fact that they can have a new evolution makes me want like some of the old Pokemon to get new evolutions, as opposed to like I'll be honest, like if Dormanitan got an evolution, like I don't care. So
yeah, you're not gonna be excited.
so
only I would be excited about that.
So I'd rather it be like Haunter has like a new third form or something.
Yeah, That's fair. And I didn't even think about the evolution thing. So if I had to Britishify one Pokemon, it'd be there's this Pokemon. It's called Darmanitan. No, absolutely.
Oh my god.
Absolutely kidding. I know nothing about that thing. So I love. This is so dumb. I just love Cyndaquil.
Okay.
The Gen 2 fire starter so much. And I know it's a starter, so already off the bat I'm wrong. I'm not getting this.
Well, he's
But I love Cyndaquil's design, and it's something about it, and you guys really got to visualize this with me.
Okay. Something
about it just really lends itself to a nice British mustache, a monocle, and a small top hat. I know you mentioned the top hat, but it just, to me, it's something about that little thing. Its eyes are closed. I don't know why that gives me a reason to want a monocle on it, but it does.
Maybe it'll open its eye.
It'll open its finally.
There you go.
Like
Hey.
it can see, it can fight. Yeah, that's what it is. And even the evolutions kind of lend itself. Honestly, if we want to go with the punk rock thing, Quilava, the second evolution, kind of has a mohawk thing going on.
All right, I
mean,
changed my pick. Yeah.
It kind of writes itself. Like, that's all I'm gonna say. But
actually, without going punk rock, I'd like to see like Houndour or Houndoom.
Dude, that thing's already super punk. Imagine if it was like.
Well, I kind of picture like a British like hunting dog, kind of like a Baskerville, like maybe give it one of those little hats thing,
that's scary.
like a fox catcher type thing. Yeah, I don't know, that'd be kind of cool.
Actually,
that's scary when you think about it, because then it's running around chasing other Pokemon. That's
oh
bad.
no, dude,
okay.
That's what's more metal than that? That's super punk.
Hey,
It's
they have Poke jobs now, so Pokemon Hunter or Catcher is definitely a job that could be there. I'm so sorry for rudely checking my phone. I was getting texts from what looked like my own number, and I was like, what is going on? But
is it that number neighbor?
It's the stupid number neighbor thing. Has that happened to either of you?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The day the meme like blew up, I got that, and I was like, "What in the world is happening?"
I don't get it.
But Twitter
Dude,
saved me.
it's so stupid. I only did it to one person, but oh my gosh, I just hate it.
I'm not going to respond,
hate
right?
this
I don't
whole thing.
respond.
I responded, and they were really nice, but I seen some very horrific conversations.
You don't need that's so
bizarre. Dude.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would recommend not responding.
Thank you.
Unless you just like messing with people.
Yeah,
but,
no.
Or you just genuinely I was in a place where I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just be like number neighbor ? Because they approached me first. Right. And they were like, "Yeah, I hope you have a great day." And I was like, "You too." Oh. And then we never spoke.
Cute and done.
Okay. It was just cute and done. And like, man, it was great. But then you go on Twitter and you see some crazy stuff, and you're like, "All right, well, that's scary."
Yeah. I'm gonna not respond. So
yeah, that's a decision.
That's a safe bet.
No response. Yeah. Okay,
maybe block.
I want to know if we get a podcast neighbor. I want to know what they're like. What's their crew?
How do we figure that out?
What kind of Galarian forms do they want? I'm going to take us to viewer questions, because we did get some cool ones. Obviously, we can't feature them all. Thank you. Within 30 minutes, we had 50 or 60, so that was super awesome.
That's awesome.
And I am going to read them off my phone, because that's where I have them screenshotted. But like I mentioned, we'll put a tweet every day when we're about to record, and you guys can just follow that and send those in. As opposed to the comments, it's not comment force. It's switched on. We're not taking them from the comments. You can still comment. Please do. But... Please do. YouTube is really trying to take us through the ringer right now. So we'll take sponsorships, we'll take comments, we'll take likes. It's all
literally
all
anything.
Let's go with this one. Killer Donut says, okay, another question. I don't know if do you read the Twitter name or the actual @?
Dude, that is a question.
This is something that has plagued
mortals can't answer.
You want to know why comment force stopped? It's because I can't decide. What do I
read the @?
Okay. Lizard. I-29 says, if you had to pick one game releasing this year to get a Switch Lite limited edition colorway, which would it be?
Okay.
So you can't pick Pokemon Sword and Shield. For obvious reasons.
Yeah. Man, but that one's so good.
No. It is so good.
I'm already happy they gave us that one, but I do know what my answer would be, actually.
What's your pick?
I would love to see the updated, the new version of Link's Awakening, the new art style.
It's the same day.
It is the same day.
They should have done it.
Wow.
I mean, how is that not already a thing? Maybe I just haven't been researching
it's not
enough.
A thing.
I don't think it's a thing.
Yeah, it's just yellow, turquoise, gray, and Zacian's Amazon.
That's crazy. I didn't even think about the fact that it is the same day. For some reason, it was such separate occasions in my head. That is insane.
I just like the new art style, and I think that'd be super cute to have on the Switch Lite.
Yeah.
So that's my pick.
That's good. I'm caught between two because me and my friends were actually talking about this, and so I've never played Dragon Quest at all. I've played Builders 2, but I know that that's not how Dragon Quest plays. I am planning on picking up 11, and now
11S.
that 11S, sorry, that's right, the definitive one. Now that Hero's in Smash, I've honestly been kind of like falling in love with the quirkiness of Dragon Quest. It's very different from other JRPGs that are so serious, like very Final Fantasy-esque, Fire Emblem even. It's like, I'm sure it gets dark in certain places because it is a JRPG, but it's so cute and uplifting that like I kind of want to see what they would do with it. Like I think that they have very interesting designs, and I would love to see what a Switch Lite for that would look like. My runner-up to that cute and fun thing, whimsical thing, is a Doom Eternal.
Ooh.
That would be sick. Like, just black and red. Like,
My colors.
Hey,
my colors.
yeah, there you
your
go.
colors.
go.
Exactly. You see? I mean, dude.
Please don't do that. Then I have to buy it. I'm kidding.
See, that's
No,
how they'll get you.
No, that'd be sick. That'd be sick.
I think the obvious pick is like Luigi's Mansion 3, but I'm actually gonna get a little weird and say the new Hollow Knight game, and then you could do a hollow like see-through Switch Lite where it's got like it writes itself.
Dude,
That's
Silk
smart.
Song.
Yeah,
Silk Song. Yeah, that'd
yeah.
be sick. I'd be.
That's
I'd be
really
Even
cool.
if they did like a weird Silk Song like bone white like color scheme, that could still be pretty cool. But if they did do the see-through thing,
Yeah.
like that is what I would want.
or even red and white. You know,
Red and black just doesn't really
Red
add
and black,
up, but
yeah.
it could do it, sure.
A lot of
Kinda,
color schemes
yeah.
with that.
Musical poet case. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just thinking like that's cool.
Okay.
I was just thinking out loud. Go ahead, you could. Sorry, musical poet. I didn't mean to.
Musical.
You got
poet.
him, dude. He was having a moment.
Yeah. Musical poet KC wants to know what's the one Switch game you wish had either more DLC or any DLC whatsoever. This is like my favorite question.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I know my answer right away. This is an easy answer though. Super Mario Party. That thing is just like the day it came out, it needed DLC, and they have
That is
yet
true.
to add DLC. Like it's one of the top selling Switch games, but it still has 3 or 4 maps. They haven't updated any new characters, and it desperately needs some new maps. It's actually one of my favorite just party games to play. It's simple. It's easy to get people into. But if it just had a bit more, I know I could sell more people on playing it. Whereas, like, I've already played with a few of my friends. Like, oh, that's good. But,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I wish there was a few more maps to just keep up the excitement because it's something I'd like to... I enjoy playing it a lot, but it desperately needs some DLC.
I wish they would DLC a like hardcore mode where you don't get screwed over for being good at the game. Like I swear to you, I never have lost Mario Party until Super Mario Party, and now I lose every single time. I don't know that I've won a single round of Super Mario Party because I'll have like 5 stars and then they'll all get taken, and then I'll get to the bonus and they'll be like, we're not doing the minigame bonus, we're doing the like who's the shortest bonus or who has the most allies bonus, and it's like, okay, well, I'm losing all of those. But it definitely
I enjoy the randomness of the bonus stars, but there should 100% be a mode that just, like, there's no
right,
bonus
like the
stars.
coin
Just-
star, the minigame star, like bring them back.
That should be it. You know, that should be it. Yeah,
or at least a
absolutely.
mode, or at least a new map, or at least
Yeah.
a new character.
Yeah.
At least,
Yeah, anything.
it is weird because
Any
it's so
amount of
high
life.
up on that chart.
Yeah, every time you check it, it's still in like the top 10 Switch sales, or at least the top 20 or something. And like, but they haven't updated it once. It's gotten like a minor bug fix or something, but that's about it. So
Yeah,
I'd like to see that.
I'd love to be in their DLC meetings where they're like, here's what we're gonna update. Here's because Fire Emblem is gonna get DLC. They love that game. It's gonna get DLC.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It already has.
For me, it's like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, like more tracks, please.
Oh gosh, yes, that would be
great one.
fantastic. Because I owned it on the Wii U, and I have it on Switch as well. And it's a great game. It's fantastic. It's one of my favorite Switch games because it's perfect for the moment. You can it's great for handheld. It's great for just whipping out, hooking up to the TV, playing with friends. But I would absolutely love to see some new maps because I've already played it a ton. I feel like I played it for like 2 or 3 years now because I played it on the Wii U
And there's so much they could do just with like either new characters that you incorporate in from like other Switch games, or you bring in another what do you call them, a cup, a new set of courses. You know, I saw someone talking about they were, you know, like the Crash Team Racing thing. I'm trying to pull up the exact quote. The Crash Team Racing thing has been like a big issue of like, oh, they're charging now for Wumpa coins or whatever. And someone was saying like, dude, you can buy a $10 pack of Wumpa coins, or for $11.99, like they bundled the DLC on Mario Kart. It was like such a good price. And so you know that they wouldn't like do you dirty at all with the pricing. You get a whole new cup. I can't find the exact quote, but it's weird to me that they haven't updated that, as that is like the seller. And I know it did get DLC already,
literally.
but like that doesn't hurt. You could still do more.
I think the simplest thing, like you said, would just be to add a whole new cup with four new tracks. That would be fantastic.
And they started bringing in like the Animal Crossing course, and like you could now bring in like a Splatoon course or a Fire Emblem course, whatever you wanted to do. I don't know. It just
dude, that'd be sick.
Be awesome.
I actually would love that idea. I think a new cup would lend itself perfectly, especially if they did like a Switch oriented cup, like all games that have come out since the original launch on the Wii U. So if we did get like a 3 Emblems stage where you're driving through the monastery, that would be the sickest thing. Wow, I want that now.
I like the Splatoon idea, like where you're driving through and there's like literally kids like shooting as you're, you have to like drive through and don't get hit by the inklings.
The paint
that would be
actually
sick.
like
That'd be
affects the
super
floor
fun.
too.
Yeah,
I think Mario Kart definitely could use it. I like how in the theme of Mario, mine is also Mario. I want more Mario Odyssey DLC. I think that game was so much fun. Like I still think my favorite game experience has been Breath of the Wild, just because I went in so blind on that game. So it really did, get to me. But as far as the game that I've had the most fun with, like just genuine, like giddy, just a good time all the way through, Mario Odyssey, I don't think there was a single point where I was not smiling. That game was just fun. Like it wasn't super deep. It didn't have to be. So if I could get one more kingdom, especially like there was a lot of people wishing that Delfino Plaza from Mario Sunshine would come in because it was like on the map of Odyssey. Like it made zero sense that they're like, all right, well now here's a bunch of free costumes for like a year.
Who's making the choices? Like
honestly,
the games we mentioned all need DLC, and there's a couple games that don't need DLC, and they got like nothing against Cabin Toad Treasure Track. I really like that game, but I can't believe that's one that got DLC. Like,
that was actually something in my notes I had. Like, seriously, like, that game got DLC. I love that game. I played the entire thing. I played the DLC. Fun. It's super fun, but let's be honest, it doesn't like deserve DLC especially not any more so than any of those other games. If anything, it's like way down.
Right, and if you're gonna say that Mario Kart 8 doesn't get DLC because like it already did, or it's a Wii U game, well, Captain Toad is a Wii U game, and they got brand new. So okay,
it's still got brand new DLC. Yeah, exactly.
But Kingdoms, I can't believe they're not there.
I know, and it's just upsetting, honestly.
Well, let's not be too upset. Batman Lee 1 says, when do y'all think the Switch Pro will come out? 2020 or 2021?
Now is the time to look forward, to be hopeful. I feel like it's a 2020 drop. That's what I feel like it needs. I mean, you've got these other consoles coming out. You've got the Scarlet, you've got the PlayStation 5, whatever they decide to call it. They're right around the corner. I feel like we need the Switch Pro to come out next year. I feel like it's just like a necessity. There's this small like inkling of it probably won't come out until 2021.
That's
dangerous.
I got
like
dang.
Yeah, a lot of ink in my head, a lot of
I think you're on the right track. Like I think it's got to be
I don't know.
I think it's got to be next year. Like it will seem so less impressive if it comes out after we're playing, the Xbox Scarlet and PS5. And the Wall Street Journal was reporting that Nintendo like has ideas for more iterations beyond this, and it seems like they're just going to keep them coming. I know you don't want to have burnout, but look back at the 3DS. I was looking at like my other channel and like unboxings, and I typed in like 3DS unboxing Ghost Robo, and I have like 6 videos because there was like the 3DS, the 3DS XL, the new 3DS, the new 3DS XL, the 2DS, and the 2DS XL. So there's nothing to prevent them from continuing to do this iterative process, and I think because the Pro is what people want, I don't think there'd be as much pushback. I don't think you come out with a more powerful Switch and people are like, oh, shucks. And at that point, it would have been 4 years if it comes out like next fall or whatever, like around the September Switch Lite date. So it's like 4 years is that's you can't complain about that, really.
Yeah.
It's enough time. It's plenty of time. To be honest, I would have been on the side of like, if it had come out this year, I might have been a little hurt. Like, okay, that's pretty soon to have already bought my Switch. I might have. But if it comes out next year, I feel like that is just the exact perfect amount of time. I'm ready for a new Pro Switch. And so I think dropping the Switch Lite was a genius idea this year. It works out perfectly. It does fill that gap in the market. They've got something new out. Again, it fills that gap for people that maybe just didn't want to spend the $300-$400 whatever it costs for the Switch. Now it's $200. That's great. But I think we're all ready for the Pro. I'm ready for the better graphics. I'm ready. Yeah.
And what it does then is it makes the Switch Lite, to me, a little bit more different. So then you're not sitting there like, well, I can take the Switch or I can take the Switch Lite, which just cuts the Switch. Like, then it's like, okay, we truly do have like a cheap Switch and we have the powerful Switch. And so it differentiates them a bit more. Plus, if we get announcements that like PS5 is $599 and Xbox Scarlet is $599, well, then Nintendo comes in and says ours is $399, and you're like $200 cheaper. That seems amazing. Yeah. So it does line up. I think. I hope. I want it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it makes tons of sense. The only problem is that we're talking about Nintendo, which doesn't often make tons of sense. Like, for me, I find it interesting that as far as, like, practically, it makes sense that the Lite comes out first because it's probably the easier system that, to develop. But I think the Pro would have probably been a stronger first iteration, just because the people who haven't bought the Switch already are the people who probably are waiting for more power. Or, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think all of us could want it, to be a little stronger and be able to play, bigger games. But to me, it's like the people that were on the edge. I mean, it was a really hard move to make regardless, because there are the people who are like, I just want it for portable. And then there are the people who are like, well, if this was a little bit stronger, I would get it. But it's not playing like current gen games. Or if it is, like, there's a lot of like, things that they cut out. So I think no matter what Nintendo did, it was going to be a tough like call. But I can't imagine that they don't have the Pro, almost ready within the next year. I honestly, in my eyes, I'd imagine that they had the choice to pick which one to drop, because it has been so long, and we have been hearing these rumors for, since the first year of the Switch being out. People were like, oh, revisions are going to come. So it's like, to me, I think a 2020 release is absolutely something I can see. 2021, if we have to wait that long, I think, I don't know. It's weird. I can't imagine 2021 is when it's going to drop. Like, I find that really hard to see happening.
It's a ways away.
But then again, it's like, time just kind of moves. So if it doesn't happen, we're going to get there regardless, I know we were banking on something like the Scarlet to come out
Don't bring up
a lot
that
sooner.
Don't talk about
that. But now that the wounds are healing a little bit,
They're not. It's not.
not healed, definitely not yet. We need to get that white vinegar and sour cream.
I think if I put my game executive hat on for a second, my company executive hat on, like, I do think this is the perfect scenario, because look, the Switch Lite expands the demographic. It now goes cheaper for kids. It goes smaller for kids. It goes portable for especially the Japanese player. I don't think the Switch Pro expands the market. I think the Switch Pro doubles down on the market. But by expanding the market, you then can sell the Switch Pro to a larger swath of Switch people, as opposed to if you go Switch Pro first, it's probably just Switch owners re-upping. I'm sure there's some people like, ooh, it's a little more powerful, but it's not going to reach the PS5 or Scarlet at all. So the people that want power probably would still sit it out. Whereas now I think you expand, and if you sell a Switch Lite to a 10-year-old, maybe they play it, love it, and then they're like, Xbox and PlayStation, but I still love Mario, and then they ask mom and dad for the Pro because it kind of goes with, I don't think the rumor of like the Pro is docked only, the Switch Lite is undocked only, like that seems goofy to me, but I do think the way that they're doing it, if the Pro's real, which I think it is, I think it's probably in like the company's best interest.
Yeah, so. I think you're absolutely right about the expanding demographic thing. It does just make sense
Yeah, I think you nailed it on the head.
let's do it.
They're going to expand with the Switch Lite. They're going to get it to people that wouldn't have bought a Switch otherwise. It is cheaper. It's more portable. And then next year is the perfect time to drop the Switch Pro and then, maybe expand upon that audience that just picked it up. Because by that point, they're happy with their Lite and maybe they're ready for the next better, bigger version of it. And by that point, we, who already own a Switch, definitely will be. So
Yeah. And then we just wait for the NX and then Nintendo
it's over.
did their
It's
job.
over. Last question of the day comes from Chaz MKE, who says, "What about the Nintendo community has made creating content for SwitchForce the hardest since the channel started?" So I'll throw this one to you guys because.
Yeah, so essentially...
Well, man, since I started today on the podcast, a lot of changes. No, I got nothing, man. That one is obviously all you.
So I was thinking about this for a bit, and I think honestly, I mean, there's some behind the scenes stuff, but honestly, the most difficult thing I think is that so many of the Nintendo channels, the other channels, are so established that like it's hard to break into that group because you're so often compared to them, or you're so often like feel like you're playing catch up or playing second fiddle. And obviously, like we've done some things that are different and some things that are our own. But I'd say that's probably the trickiest part. Is you look around, there's so many good Nintendo channels. Like people that do Nintendo content, I feel are like around the board, like really good across the board, really good. And it's sometimes it's daunting of like, dang, like we're not just competing against everyone's little brother, but we're trying to make content that lives up to, the Game Explains, the beat 'em ups, like these really quality channels that do like awesome work. But it's more of like a fun challenge, I think, than like a bummer. It's not a bummer. So there's that, and then I guess if there's like a little piece, it would be like sometimes Nintendo's a little tricky, but we won't get into that.
Don't bite the hand.
Yeah.
I would say that feeds you, but
yeah. So I think that about wraps us up. Unless you want to plead Darmanitan mercy. And
so yeah, I actually wrote a monologue about Darmanitan and its lore and why I was correct on insinuating that it was a fighting type. So essentially, if we go back to the original design, no, I'm not going to do that bit. Don't worry, I will take that L and I will wear it proudly, and I will mention Darmanitan at least once a video. I promise.
Beautiful.
Every podcast,
Every podcast, and no, just any video I appear on. It doesn't even have to be for YouTube. If I'm being recorded by my friend, I will mention Darmanitan. Sweet. And I will rep that until I die.
Beautiful. Well, we'll be back next Friday with another one of these shows. Again, stay tuned for that question call. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you have any feedback or complaints or thoughts or whatever, put them in the comments down below. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. I do want you guys to let them know where they can find you on the internet. Not your number neighbor, please, but where they should look if they'd like to get more insight into the lives of two cool Nintendo cats.
Two broke guys with no lives.
Exactly.
Wow. Very apt.
Joseph, where could we find you on the social medias?
You want me to lead that charge? Okay. So you can find me on YouTube. I have a channel at Joker. It's very satirical and anime based. So if both of those are going to trigger you, don't go. It's not the best content, but it's there.
Oh, that's good.
You can
your
find
new art is fantastic.
Thank you so much, by the way. I was honored that you like that. I do have a Twitter where I post my art as well as an Instagram. My Twitter is at Joseph Hilaire. Well, I think it's actually at Joker Art. Yeah, I know. So it's at Joker Art, and that's JOHKERR. It's not spelled right because, of course, I had to be edgy for some reason. I post art on there, and I just share my thoughts about things. So, thoughts about things. There's that. But if you really want to see my art, I'm on Instagram, and that's Joestar, because what's branding, honestly? Yeah, I'm all over. But just like my preferences, I'm all over the place. So my Instagram is J0HSTAR, and I think that's really everything where it matters, where I post most. So Trip, will you do us the honors?
Well, I guess it's now I feel like it's important to mention that my real name is not actually Trip. So when I started working with Zach, I just decided to go by a different name on here because we're always calling each other, like Joseph will be like, hey, Zach, what's this? And I'd have to be like, are you talking to me? Are you talking to the other Zach? So I just go by Trip on here. But my actual social media stuff, you'll find me is Zach Shada on Instagram. It's just at Zach Shada. And then I think my Twitter account is at Zach Makeout, at Zach Makeout. It's because I'm in a band called Makeout Monday, which, we have quite a bit of stuff on YouTube and Spotify. If you really want to go that extra mile and like, I want to know everything about these guys, you can check out my band. But that's where you'll find me. So
basically, if I understand correctly, if anyone wants to make out with Trip, you just go follow him on Twitter.
That's Zach Makeout. That is correct.
Go. That is how you can get that done. And we'll get another show done for you next week. We'll be back on Friday again. Make sure to stay tuned for that tweet if you want to have a question answered for us or by us. If you want, we have questions for you too. Maybe that's a new segment where we ask them for help because we probably need it. Definitely could use the YouTube help. So if you want to sponsor the show, if you want to hit that like button, if you want to leave a comment, some feedback, some criticism, some likes, some dislikes, what you think of these guys, if you're excited, what you think about Darmanitan, we'd love to know. Hopefully Gabe will be back next week. We'll have a round table of 4, but until that time, thank you so much. We're going to switch this thing off for the week, and until next time, for myself, for Joseph, for Trip, SwitchForce,